Hello, in this lesson we are going to cover why one would just not use Bitcoin, because there are several other cryptocurrencies out there. There's Monero, there's Dash, Litecoin, there's Ripple, there's alternatives to Bitcoin that are just hard forks like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, there's Ethereum. I forgot to mention that one. That's the second biggest. But why would you use any of them other than Bitcoin? So first of all, we'll cover the four for Bitcoin. So why you would want to use Bitcoin. So I would say the first thing is it was first. It was the first cryptocurrency. And as a result, it is more mature in many aspects. It has over half the market cap. It has over it has over 100 billion market cap as of, well, it's November now. It's just 1st of November as of recording this video. In November 2017, as it has over $100 billion, and the market cap for cryptocurrencies in total is less than 200. So it has a big chunk of the market, and all the other ones are very tiny compared to it. So over half the market cap. So that's another reason for using it. It's tried and tested. It's almost been around for a decade. In just general economic terms, that's not long at all. In cryptocurrencies, that's a lot of time. It has more awareness. Most people don't even talk about cryptocurrencies. They talk about Bitcoin. Even when they're actually not talking about Bitcoin, they say Bitcoin, whether that's journalists and media outlets or whether that's just the average Joe. When they're actually talking about cryptocurrency, whether they're talking about blockchain, decentralized and distributed currency systems, they usually mention Bitcoin. They don't just mention it as an example. They say Bitcoin and then what they're talking about. So it's people know about it that much that that's their go-to one. It has many users, and at the end of the day, no matter how good a system is, unless it has users on both sides, people will not adopt it, because we've already seen there are other cryptocurrencies such as Dash, such as Litecoin and Monero and Ethereum that have certain things that are better than Bitcoin, whether it's scalability, whether it's the ease of use, but they don't have the users. It also has many merchants, so it's a lot easier to get stuff using Bitcoin compared to other cryptocurrencies. So those are I would say, the main reasons for using Bitcoin. So how about some reasons for not using Bitcoin? So against. So this isn't for any one particular alternative cryptocurrency. This is just in general. So one is scalability. So the different Bitcoin scalability. So all the different Bitcoins that we got. So we got Bitcoin, the regular one, got Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold. They've been hard forks because there's been debate around how to handle the issue of scalability, because blocks have a hard-coded size value, which in turn means it can only process a certain amount of transactions in a given time, which is bad for a system that is growing immensely, and a system that people want to replace the current fiat currency. So if you want to be handling that many transactions, it needs to be able to scale. It can't just remain small and only be good for the enthusiasts of the world. So scalability, different currencies handle this in different ways, but this is one of the reasons you may not want to use Bitcoin. So other use cases outside of currency. Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is nothing more than a currency system, whereas Ripple is an intermediary. Ethereum or Ether is the currency, Ethereum is the blockchain network, and Ethereum can be used to handle any sort of asset. So as a result, if you are looking for non-currency applications using a decentralized and distributed network, then Bitcoin just isn't the way to go at all. So it's not like you could use Bitcoin, you would have to use an alternative. So there are certain cases where you want to use some sort of crypto network, and what you need it for, you just can't use Bitcoin for it. So as I mentioned, Ripple can act like an intermediary for exchanging assets around the world. So that's another reason. So if you want it as an intermediary instead of an alternative currency. So some of these against using Bitcoin are going to be, one, because Bitcoin can't handle it, or two, because it doesn't directly compete. So we're not saying that you're going to use Bitcoin or you're going to use an alternative. You might use both. You might use Bitcoin for your currency. You might use Ripple for some sort of intermediary for exchanging assets. You might use an Ethereum based network to basically have an audit trail for smart contracts to track stuff. It might be for wills, for example, or certificates. So there's definitely plenty of room. If you look at history, you find that only probably 3 to 5 companies or systems usually thrive in a given sector. I mean, like really thrive. So we'll probably, within the crypto sector, we'll probably have a currency, we'll probably have something as an intermediary, and we'll probably have something that handles everything else for assets. Let me do this star asterisk better. And another reason is diversification. So if you're looking into cryptocurrencies to invest, you might want to diversify, because that's something that you generally should be doing as an investor, whether you're a seasoned trader or whether you're just the average person and you just want to invest some of your money outside of just the one system. Diversification. So have a bit in Bitcoin, have a bit in Monero, Dash, Litecoin. So it won't always be using an alternative to Bitcoin, and for the reason of it's better, maybe you just want to diversify. And another reason is uncertainty in general. Uncertainty in general. So there is a lot of uncertainty in regards to cryptocurrencies, in regards to how this will fit into the current systems of economics, of governance, of people interacting with merchants. So for that reason, you might want to go to a different system that is a bit more like the conventional currency, and there are some out there. So that's it for the fors and against of using Bitcoin compared to another cryptocurrency. I'm not saying that you should use Bitcoin or that you shouldn't use Bitcoin, but it's worth noting that there are use cases for using Bitcoin or using something else. And always make sure you do your research. Don't take the word of just one individual, whether that's me, your friend, or the government. Do your research. That's my biggest recommendation. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And as usual, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson.